The professional losses, all 7 wins coming by way of knockout contender, introducing Yoenli. Please welcome the undefeated, hard-hitting, world-ranked Feliciano Hernández. Once again, the referee in charge is Robert Hoyle. Now to get instructions, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled.
All punches here will be good. All punches here will be good. Obey. Okay, we went over the rules in the dressing room. My commands, give me a good, clean fight. Touch him up, scoot back.
Suffocating volume and heavy artillery while Davis, he offers Hernández brings sharp but lower volume precision. The X factor, whether Davis does his power punching blitz will break through his defense, can weather the storm and counter effectively, or Hernández. The bell and round number 1.
Yeah, if you're Hernández, you want to start fast. You don't want to let Davis get comfortable. He's a fighter that, if you let him get loose, get comfortable.
Flashing the jab.
He's a great counterpuncher.
Immediately, Hernández controlling the center of the ring.
The intensity and the off each other long after the pictures were done being taken. We know the stare down at Friday's weigh-in was anything when they didn't take their eyes. Will be a close, intense fight. But we talk about the low, something he certainly has to be mindful of.
And Davis has also spent a long
output at times, and Davis has been in some very close fights.
Time on the ropes, including in that win over Elijah Garcia. Like Hernández, Davis utilizing his mobility, but he does not want to
let him go. Let him go. There you go.
Against a heavy hitter already being put on the ropes early by the Cuban.
15 punches attempted less per round than the middle. Davis is certainly a comfortable counterpuncher, but when you average full weight average, sometimes after you end up in those close fights, the draw with all that.
You're a great counterpuncher, Davis, but you can't let the opponent.
Stop! Right there. Keep it clean.
Exactly.
Keep it clean.
I mean, get too many hands on you. Can't get him. Let him get off a lot of feints.
This is
first. You're Davis. You want to be smart. Set traps.
Hernández's fifth scheduled 10-rounder is on the canvas.
No wrestling. We're not wrestling.
Along his fight.
I know. No knockdown.
Davis for Hernández was against Bryce Henry, which ended at. He has one first-round knockout, the 153 mark of round 8. Davis has 3 first-round KOs, has never scored against opposition. A lot less decorated that KO past round 4, and those KOs came against Hernández, who's already landing a combination through the hand. And the uppercut for Hernández is lethal. Right uppercut hard of Davis.
Yeah, that was a beautiful setup. Right
hook.
Hernández digs so deep and low, throw from middle distance too. A very dangerous knockout punch. Low to get that extra extension on that uppercut. And it's a punch he capture when he heats up is Hernández. Davis to get distance too. A very dangerous knockout puncher when that extra extension on that uppercut. And it's a punch he can throw from middle. He heats up is Hernández.
I admired how dedicated my dad was to racing.
We do it.
All comes down to this.
Because we don't know any better. This is what we do.
Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Big shots early, but remember, this is a guy who went 6+
Seconds out.
Kyrone Davis eating some rounds on short notice at 168 against none other KO loss.
And he was stopped on his feet with the corner.
Then David Benavidez, Davis's only.
And his coach, Stephen Breadman Edwards, saying no more punishment. But he was a hesitation that he's a spoiler, he's a tough out. Like we established tonight, he's in that fight. He showed a lot of heart. It really continued to build that reputation to try to take the fight to and from Hernández.
But you can't win
Those mistakes that we're talking about against Benavidez, which is letting the
a fight if you don't throw punches.
Exactly, and I think he's making a lot of the fighter get off first, fighting on your back foot, getting on the ropes.
Without throwing a
You
shit.
can't do that.
Maybe you can win a round if you're Willie Pep, but maybe that's just legend, right?
It could be apocryphal, but
Legends Brian Campbell. Round number 2.
a shout out to the Connecticut legend just the same.
Speaking of Connecticut legend, Davis now putting some pressure on his front foot. He's been telegraphed. He's ready to uncork that right hand.
Exactly.
He's got Hernández on the ropes, but you can see Hernández is setting a trap.
That's intentionally Hernández letting Davis get him first. Coming forward and waiting for him to make a mistake.
Sometimes short, late notice situations at 168 pounds. David, we mentioned some of those fights where Davis made his name. Those were some Benavidez, Anthony Durrell. When it comes to this weight class, 160, know that this is his most effective weight. This is an opportunity. Davis is 13-1 in his career overall, so we need tonight for him to continue to climb up those rankings into real time.
Popping the jab through the guard of Davis. Downstairs.
Contention.
Hernández. Sitting upstairs. Davis. Defense by Hernández as well. Hernández. Fluid combinations. Really is all Yoenli.
Yeah, David needs to let that hang.
Best punch for Davis is that right hand. You
Go that jab. There it is. Set up everything.
and that's
behind
his position as the lead, but Hernández the second round. David combinations and dropping. Kyrone Davis. This has only been down once, and it was in the loss at middle. Already feeling the Cuban power early. Wait to Junior Castillo in April of 2016.
Told you to watch that uppercut from Hernández. Boy, did he deliver that?
And now Hernández putting pressure. Head using the jab. There's the uppercut on Davis, stapling to the ropes. Body. Davis shelling up, unable to fire back, trying to roll with.
He's taking the shots. Good from Hernández, and that punch he knifed.
These punches.
Now Davis got too comfortable. He never saw it was the one that hurt him.
Hernández has a jolting uppercut. Tremendous round for Hernández. An uppercut. And just missed with
Así pasan, ya tú ganaste por mucho, oíste. No tienes que... Cuando cosas que siguiendo tirando a los guantes.
Shoot to the
Adelante. El plante no sirve. Oíste,
gloves, set
este
him
tipo
up.
no tiene nada para ti. Ahí lo mandaron ir para... Sigue controlándolo con el jab.
And here we're going to see the punch as he opened up the guard. He landed the 1-2. The replay on how that knockdown happened. It was a barrage.
the jab that really dropped him at the
It was
end
a
of the
powerful jab.
combination.
Yeah. Shots, hooks, opened up the guard of Davis, and it was a
Power jab.
couple of bodies. Powerful jab by Hernández.
The adversity for Kyrone Davis. Early. Round number 3.
Yeah, he was taking those shots, and that powerful jab from Hernández was right on the button. That was good. Davis, he got too comfortable. He pulled back.
Well, it was the 4-punch combination that just much as we thought with that uppercut, but when you follow up with clean, really blinds you with those punches coming from different angles. Didn't catch him as large shots in the pocket like that. You can see why he's so dangerous. He got us excited in round 2. Now he's got to continue to carry out the dangerous. But remember, this is just the 8th pro fight of Hernández, so he's playing.
And he's doing just that behind a highly effective to that jab. It's not a range finder. It is the jab splitting the guard, and there's a thudding presence of weapon.
and that's the best use of the jab. If I'm control distance, all that, but you want to hurt your opponent.
Not a lot of fighters can.
If I stand corrected here, Abner, when you can use it as a weapon.
Could do that though. Some people just use the jab as a range find out for Hernández as a weapon. Definitely hard shot. Nice right in there. That's to set up a punch with that jab. It's hand too.
Hernández continues. Davis trying to find his rhythm. Used to initiate the attack. There's a jab from Dave. Throws a combination, countered with a jab that again splits.
Positive about Davis for sure is that he performs well under pressure. He's
Davis high guard.
One thing I can say, been in fights, as we mentioned, with established champions, even if he's on YouTube, still bringing the fight to Hernández. It's undersized or late notice, and you can see he got knocked down in round 2.
Hernández's punch selection, that impresses me. And another power jab that sends Davis to the road. He changes it up.
Set up once again beautifully by that uppercut.
Him catching the big shot instead of letting him. And I get it, Davis is more worried about getting hit, about his hands go.
The uppercut on the inside by Hernández.
You want to keep Hernández busy by letting your punches go.
Putting together combinations. There's a combination by Hernández, continue to get through. And that Davis, but blocked by the guard of Hernández, and those punches whirling right hand behind the guard of Davis. A thudding jab of Yoenli. Hernández dictating the terms of this fight, and the
Davis lit
those crisp combinations.
On the ropes, as we established early in that win over Elijah Garcia.
10 seconds.
In a very close fight. Different kind of puncher here in Hernández.
Other round dominated by the undefeated.
Listen. I don't give a fuck about you. I give a fuck if you give your best effort. If you got to bite down, make him understand that he's in the fight. Make him understand and do what you got to do and do what you got to do. I want to see you step to him and make that he going to have to give his life to beat you. What you have to do is you have to challenge and dig at him the way you do motherfuckers in the gym. You hear me? Every time he steps it up. I want to see you go to the, push him to the road. I don't give a fuck about you losing. You understand? That don't mean take him in the deep waters. Make him run hard this round. Take him into nothing to me. But give it a little bit more. Give me a little bit more. All right? Deep waters and see what he got, all right? You got strong legs. Push him back. Yes, good shot. Come on, man. Give it a little bit more. Give me a little bit more than what you're giving me. Push him back and stay close the way you did with Marky and throw them nasty little...
Needless to say, a sense of urgency early. Edwards wants to see a lot more out of his and Davis's round, courtesy of trainer Stephen Breadman's fighter. And Hernández, guys, landed 20 on Davis. He's 10 for 67, 3 of 77 in round 3. Kyrone combined in 3 rounds.
To it. I like what he said. Don't worry about losing the fight, losing rounds. Let's see.
Great advice there, Brian.
And let's see how Davis responds. That respect back right now.
Let him know that he's in a fight. Hernández entertained, busy with the body volume, and he hasn't thrown many punches. Davis, you got to keep.
And yet it's Hernández. Together the combinations. Davis throwing again, stepping in. Using the jab, putting sparsely and not with a lot of conviction. Warning Hernández about the shoulder strike. As he eats another right hand upstairs, and the referee. There's just all of Hernández's shots.
And I think some of that is the fact that this jab is
not the conviction from Davis's punches that we see with
not a regular jab. This is a power shot that breaks Davis's lands, and how quickly Hernández is able to pair uppercuts with that rhythm. I think it affects his confidence too because of how heavy that combinations.
Yeah, even moving backwards, the jab is effective for
the body by Hernández, putting again the work to the
Hernández.
Double jab body, not neglecting any part of Davis's anatomy. Fight.
The poise is remarkable. He had an excellent amateur.
And here's a guy in just his 8th professional
career. but to see him this calm, this comfortable, take the entire terms away from him to beat him.
Of course, obviously,
The way he executes those power shots, you have to
be on paper, you know, you as a fighter, you worry a little bit, but once you go in, it's all over. And I think that Hernández, you already got a feel, you know, in there, you test yourself, you get a feel of the opponent you got in front of you. He knows what he's got in front of him, and he feels so comfortable.
We talk World Amateur Championships. He achieved those feats without having been at about Hernández's amateur background, that two-time gold medalist, the Cuban national champion. Fourth.
And again,
45 seconds left in the Edwards yelling at Davis, you got to be mean, which part due to the aggression of Hernández. Another uppercut on the inside. Not seeing any aggression from Kyrone Davis, and again, enlarged by Hernández.
What a beautiful four-punch combination that began.
Yeah, Davis just...
And with two shots to the body as Davis looks to answer back with the right hand.
Doesn't want to open up, doesn't want to catch anything from Hernández. What a jab.
Piston-like jab. Of his own. And a 4. Davis misses with the right. Hernández comes back with the right. Champion Jamal Charlo fighting for the first time officially. Co-feature the return of undefeated two-division at 168, and when he is at his best, Brian, 7 wins via knockout against. This fighter can do it all.
An
all battle-tested veteran Kyrone Davis. Fire off the ropes. 19-3-1, coming in with a 3-fight winning. Davis's corner exhort their fighters, saying that Hernández is trying to, getting tired. Don't know if that's the kick.
Pay for this time spent with his back to the ropes.
Uppercut by Hernández.
No,
it's a trap.
And Davis has been unable to make him.
On the inside, another uppercut.
Yeah, and it's Davis right there.
Clubbing right hand.
Doesn't want to let his hands go too much or open up because he
there's a pair of right hands.
Knows that Hernández is up to something.
Final minute of the 6th
from Davis.
His most effective punch to the body, and the left uppercut upstairs by Hernández. Nice combination, toe-to-toe, left hand to the body by Davis. Up Hernández, chopping right hand by Hernández. Now Davis puts together a combination, doesn't back.
Like a hatchet.
Yeah. Speaking blocked by the guard of Hernández.
No, he's just being bullied now by Hernández.
Chopping.
And Davis, even when he throws, the punches are being...
Hernández pushing him back. His presence himself, just being there, Hernández is a lot for Davis.
Stop.
Top by Hernández. Combination by Davis with a sweeping right hand.
Better round. Yo, that was a better round. Start jabbing into his body. We probably gonna need a knockout, but that round. Trust me when I tell you, everything gonna start coming together. Listen, it's okay because we came here for one anyway. Bend your knees a body. When he launched that right hand, you gotta drop your foot so you can get yourself a little bit more. Bend your knees a little bit more. Start jabbing into the bone to roll back with your right hand. You hear me? You're not giving yourself enough room. Uppercuts, catch the uppercut with the opposite hand and come with the short shot, all right? When you're inside, he can't get no extension on the right hand. And when he shoots him, I want you to start initiating the exchanges, and I need you to be a little meaner. You're not being mean to this kid. He's not your fucking friend. You're fighting for your life right now. Get a little meaner, all right, kid? Give me a little bit meaner. The only thing he's hurt you is that overhand right over. Yes. And if you go to your left and smother it, it won't happen.
You know, a lot of ringside observers considered this a big step up for Hernández. And he's doing to Davis what we saw Hernández Angel Roots do to Angel Ruiz back in February.
Ruiz ultimately couldn't withstand that type of a fight to try to build some
Yeah, he said that we came exactly for that. We know we need a knockout.
Comeback momentum, even if they believe they may need a knockout to get there.
And we are going to look for it.
Yeah, they say it was a better round for 18-3 in power shots, according to CompuBox. And Davis, and still he was outlanded 25-8, including a left uppercut now being launched by Hernández. Rhythm with the Davis trying to establish.
Screaming for more body work from Davis.
Yeah, to think and to react. Just standing in front of him, he's giving Hernández too much time.
Ooh, another vicious right hand by Hernández. Davis is the one drowning. That left bounced off the glove of Davis.
And it's about big work from Hernández, and he does that to open up the guard. They always land.
And you can hear
Every time he lands one or two body shots, he goes straight for the uppercuts. And
the thump of each one of these punches that lead right hand.
The guard of Hernández, but no follow-up with his most effective weapon, his right
Into the body.
There's a jab that splits hand. It's pot-shotting by Davis, and now he backs up to the ropes. And every punch that Hernández throws, even the ones that are blocked or cut off the arms, moves Davis back.
The difference in the power movement here from Hernández. Or you can see it. Look at the clever footwork.
right here, we're just going to see the combinations, the work. And the effective body and effective punches from right hand. I mean, everything that he's doing in Hernández, the stiff jab. This fight is landing and is precision. The punches from the uppercut, opening up the guard with that uppercut. Hernández, the stiff jab. This fight is landing and is precision. Right hand. I mean, everything that he's doing in the uppercut, opening up the guard with that uppercut. The guard with that uppercut. Everything that he's doing in this fight is landing and is precision. The uppercut, opening up the guard with that uppercut.
Has now just putting on a show. Yeah. And Hernández utilizing the footwork, but it was Hernández doing so in this fight. A minute and a half. Davis, who wanted to dictate the terms, it's been all her left in the eighth.
Yeah, Davis putting pressure, but no jet land the combinations when he gets in the inside. Behind that pressure, and that is why Hernández is being able to.
Davis throwing a one back, creating the space necessary. Davis 1-2. Pushing Hernández busy, but again, Brian, those punches are being blocked by the hard
defense for a guy who is operating in the phone booth mostly.
guard of Hernández. They're not scoring blows.
It's such responsible, getting off power shots, but he's not leaving those extra opportunities. When you're getting beaten down by power shots with your back to the ropes, he's making Davis work for it, but it's hard to work for it.
Responsible defense, the calling card of the Cuban school, and he is offensively.
And sometimes says
Expert defensively, and he's a dynamo.
offense is his defense. He's just landing so many shots, accurate
Lasting longer than any other Hernández opponent. He is
shots from Hernández.
And while Davis had no success thus far in this fight.
We're talking about Davis, but in this fight, Hernández was none whatsoever. He's a tricky fighter. Practicing was too much for him.
And Hernández will try to make him pay for being on the ropes. Right uppercut on the inside.
Listen, Kai, you buzzed in with that shit, but you're not being authoritative, all right? Start buzzed in with that little short hook on the inside. You start looking funny. You've been in them and you haven't thrown no body shots, all right? Throw some a little bit more. I need you to step to him this whole round and try to push him back. Huh? Okay. I need you to throw it and hold him to the corner, all right? Listen to me. That kid is tired about pushing this round. You can't fucking land there and he wondering why you're not going nowhere. You can salvage this moment, a punch you don't throw.
And this is Hernández right here, just letting his hands go, opening up the guard, the inside being effective with Davis on the ropes. Punches, the body shots, and the uppercuts.
Stephen Breadman Edwards trying to motivate Kyrone Davis. Brian, you see Hernández tiring?
Which is what Edwards is. Not enough, and it needs more pressure from Davis.
Brian, you see Hernández tiring? And Edwards trying to motivate Kyrone Davis.
Not enough, and it needs more pressure from Davis.
Kyrone Davis. Brian, you see Hernández tiring?
Which is what Edwards is.
And Edwards trying to motivate.
Not enough, and it needs more pressure.
Davis. Brian, you see Hernández tiring?
From Davis, which is what Edwards is.
And Edwards trying to motivate Kyrone Davis.
Not enough, and it needs more pressure from Davis.
Trying to motivate Kyrone Davis. Brian, you see Hernández.
Which is what Edwards is.
And Edwards tiring?
Not enough, and it needs more pressure from Davis, which is what Edwards is.
Lost on his feet, as we mentioned, against David Benavidez when Breadman's jumping up to 168 pounds here at middleweight, where Brian Edwards threw in the towel, and that was a fight that he took on short notice. Campbell said was his best weight, as working the body. He's in double tough here against Yoenli Hernández, trying to sap whatever strength remains.
Look, middleweight, long time a glory division, can certainly.
For Kyrone Davis.
Use fresh blood and exciting newcomers. This is exactly.
Yeah, this is what you need. I mean, the Cuban excitement.
What Yoenli Hernández is showing us he is.
Full of boxing, and Hernández, a pressure fighter, aggressive, really landing every single shot. Fighter, balling puncher, he can box as well. And right now, just wow.
Davis throwing a lot more. Hernández landed 25. We're here in round 9, but still landing only 6.
Go crazy this round. You hear me? Go crazy this round. You're not going to get stopped. Listen, you're not getting stopped. And go for his nuts this way. Go wherever you got to go. Do not allow yourself to get stopped. 2 minutes. You never know what's going to happen. Do not fucking give up. Do not stop and keep fucking fighting for the last 3 minutes. Keep fighting for the last 3 trying. You hear me? Do not stop trying.
That's what you're doing. The same thing you're doing. Keep walking them.
Rápido y duro.
Fast and
Lo mismo
hard.
que tú estás en el ring por el primer minuto.
The first minute he can fall asleep and then you pressure
Muy bien,
him
muy bien.
really hard. I want you
Después se va a
to use the
olvidar,
ring,
después tú le metes.
and then you're gonna make really good.
Vete búscalo ya.
The pressure,
Puede
okay?
caer muy fino. Cuando hay 2 minutos yo te digo.
I'm gonna let you know when.
Unity in Wilmington, Delaware, a hero to his 10th and final round. Kyrone Davis, a hero to his children, Premier and Mila, but according to Steve, of course, the boy being knocked out, but he has to go for Breadman Edwards. He has to go crazy in this round, and the proverbial Hail Mary if he's to have any chance him up with a combination of winning this fight. And immediately Hernández, like
Again, a great student. They tell him to use the entire ring box for a bit, and the corner, will let you know when to pressure.
And for Hernández, when all-important experience being earned, sure would love to keep his knockout streak going here against a guy in Kyrone Davis who's
The rounds against a tough out like this. And I think that's key. Davis
who's been around the block.
so much more important to get knocked down, got back up, got rocked, kept coming forward, still Hernández needs, and him not really caring about it. When we asked him about trying to make the fight down on the scorecards, that's exactly what the fighter means. If this knockout streak continues, shows that.
Listen, there's ways that you make a statement. You get a knockout.
Maturity as he calls Davis forward.
People go crazy. When you get a performance like Hernández is
Is trying to lure Hernández into a brawl here, Mo.
doing tonight, I mean, he really opens up sides.
Davis,
Middleweight average is 53 punches thrown, punches around.
deal with that.
Round, Yoenli Hernández averaging 72 punches.
160-pound division. Wow.
He just turns to the corner. He's waiting for the signal.
Give and take. Good poise here by Yoenli. He took part in a little.
In the fight.
Air from Hernández as he taunts Davis.
The 1-2 that knocked him down. Stiff and hard jab that got Davis. A poised jab, setting up the jab. Hernández, overhand rise from him. And being paid uppercuts Great work in the end. He had Davis on the ropes, closing his guard right inside. I mean, we saw everything from Hernández when he letting his punches fly. Great here in this fight.
Don't forget that thudding jab.
Accuracy, and again, the uppercut was the key. That jab definitely. And you see a relaxed Hernández, not even tired, not even.
Incredible
like he got
conditioning.
yeah.
World-class athlete. All right, let's get
You can't even tell he went the distance.
the official decision. Here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, ladies and unanimous judges are in agreement. We have a decision. All three judges scored them out the same in favor of the winner in same 100-89. All three. Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, the judges are in agreement. We have a unanimous decision. All three judges,
The Cuban fighter.
all three in favor of the winner. Score them out the same, 100 to
For the by 19th, it's the coming up on July.